episode of BioLogic Science News. Today I want to talk about indoor funguses and the health risk that they pose to people who inhabit houses or offices or other buildings with fungus. I want to talk about this because of a recent study done in France documenting the growth of fungus and their aerosolized particles that can live in typical indoor environments. The study was conducted by researchers at the University of Toulouse in association with the French Environment and Energy Management Agency and published in the scientific journal Applied and Environmental Microbiology. The purpose of the study was to see how fungus could grow and disperse particulates into the atmosphere within buildings. By using the wallpaper as a substrate, the funguses are somehow able to derive enough moisture to survive. The fact that our walls can absorb moisture like this is pretty damning evidence that the average building doesn't have adequate airflow. Air circulation is a huge part of the humidity or dryness inside of a structure, and if there's bad ventilation or poor air circulation, the moisture generated by the occupants by their breathing and their sweat can soak into the walls and the ceiling. This is basically what's allowed the funguses to use the wallpaper as a substrate. The wallpaper soaks in moisture, and it becomes almost like a thin soil. The study observed 3 species of fungus, Penicillium brevicompactum, Aspergillus versicolor, and Strachobotrys chartarum, all of which were found to grow on wallpaper, but differing in the quantity of spores or particulate material that they let loose into the air. The researchers found that these fungal particles could be disturbed by air currents moving at speeds you'd typically find in a house or office. The chartarum took about 6 meters per second to lift up particulates and get them airborne like dust. This is the speed of air that would typically be around your ankles as you walk. The versicolor fungus needed an air current of only 2 meters per second to become airborne, and the brevicompactum needed only 0.3 meters per second. This is an air current you would make while sitting down or standing up, by opening or closing your laptop, and definitely while walking. Basically, anything you would do indoors seems to be able to aggravate these fungal particles and spread them through the air. When the occupants of the building are exposed to the fungal particles, they can start feeling sick or lethargic. There's a really weird phenomenon called sick building syndrome, where people who spend a lot of time in a particular building find themselves to be tired, nauseous, inefficient, and generally feeling unwell. Suspected causes of SBS include poor air circulation and fungus growing on the walls, which basically creates a work or living environment saturated with stagnant air and a fine mist of fungal particles that accumulates and spreads like dust. And everyone in the building just casually inhales this as they breathe, just as they go about their day. This study is important for its evidence of a suspected health hazard. Sick building syndrome and the fungal growths on the wallpaper are recent problems, caused largely by modern building codes. High-efficiency houses and high-efficiency buildings, they attain their high efficiency by tightly controlling the internal environment. They have total control over the internal environment, and to do that, they need to completely seal the house. They're sealed from the outside, and thus they get virtually no wind flow, only what comes in through a cracked window or a momentarily open door. The problem with being so tightly sealed is that there's pretty much no ventilation. There's really little ventilation, or air coming in or leaking slowly in the background. But this study offers support for newer building practices that take natural air circulation into consideration, so that modern buildings can be healthier places to live and to work.